When I first landed in the Philippines, I expected beaches, jeepneys, crazy traffic, and maybe the occasional runaway chicken crossing the highway like it had a death wish. What I did not expect was that the country is basically a giant buffet disguised as a republic. Seriously, whoever created the slogan, "It's more fun in the Philippines," clearly forgot to add. Especially if you love eating more than breathing. And as a blonde American woman roaming around different provinces, I learned very quickly that Filipinos express love in three forms: food, food, and also more food. So one day, after eating my 10th bowl of sinigang for the week, I decided I wanted to go on a quest. Not just any quest, but an epic food journey into what I now call the underrated food towns you need to try before you die or before your genes give up. I wasn't too interested in the usual tourist destinations like Cebu or Pampanga, where everyone already knows the food is amazing. I wanted the secret places, the tiny towns, the quiet communities where the only traffic jam is caused by a carabao taking a slow, thoughtful walk on the highway. The places where food is so good and so dangerously addictive that locals don't want tourists to find out about them. My first stop was a small town in Batangas. If you've never been to Batangas, imagine a place where coffee is strong enough to solve your emotional problems. They call it Kapeng Barako, and I swear one sip could wake up the ancestors you haven't met yet. The moment I took my first sip, my blonde soul left my body and came back speaking fluent Tagalog. I'm convinced this coffee could power the entire country if someone just plugged it into a generator. But what Batangas is even more underrated for is lomi. Now, lomi looks like a bowl of noodles that went to the gym, got buff, and decided to drown in thick, mysterious soup gravy. The serving sizes are so big that ordering one bowl is basically signing a waiver. And the toppings? Chicharon, kikiam, liver, basically everything a nutritionist would cry about. As I slurped my way through the bowl, I felt like I was eating a warm hug mixed with a mild heart attack. And honestly, I was okay with that. The lomi was so thick that at some point my spoon stood upright in the bowl, looking proud of itself. That's how you know it's good. Next up, I made my way to the quiet town of Roxas, Oriental Mindoro. Roxas is not a big tourist town, but it has something magical. Fresh seafood so cheap, it made my American brain glitch. Back home, shrimp is treated like luxury. You need a small loan just to enjoy it. But in Roxas, people look at shrimp the way Americans look at popcorn, something you can snack on while waiting for the real meal. I met a fisherman who grilled fresh squid for me right on the beach. I'm talking squid that was swimming in the ocean 10 minutes ago. When I took a bite, I nearly cried. It wasn't rubbery, it wasn't chewy, it was beautiful, it was soft. It was like the squid had lived a happy, stress-free life and was proud to be part of my lunch. While I was eating, a group of locals started laughing because apparently I was dipping grilled squid in vinegar the wrong way. Yes, there's a correct way. One woman grabbed my dip, added more onions, more chilies, a suspicious amount of calamansi, and handed it back like she had just saved my life. And honestly, she did. Vinegar in this town is taken more seriously than politics. From Mindoro, I hopped on a boat to Iloilo, but not the city. I wanted the town of Miag-ao, a place most tourists skip because they don't know the secret: batchoy. Forget the fancy restaurants in Iloilo. City Miag-ao batchoy tastes like it was handcrafted by angels who trained in culinary school. Batchoy is a noodle soup made with pork, organ meat, crushed chicharon, and enough oil to moisturize your entire family tree. And you know what? I loved it. I learned that true batchoy must have caldo, which is basically broth so flavorful it could be bottled and sold as perfume. I'm not kidding, if someone made eau de batchoy, I would wear it. The funniest part was when I asked the cook what exact ingredients were in the broth. He smiled at me mysteriously and said, "Secret." That was it. No explanation. No follow-up. Just secret. Filipino cooks guard their recipes like national treasures, and honestly, I respect it. My next target was Aklan, but not for Boracay. No, I wasn't here for white sand. I was here for lechon manok from a tiny street stall in Calibo. I know, chicken is chicken. That's what I thought too. But this chicken, This chicken tasted like it had a PhD in flavor. It tasted like it wrote love letters to my taste buds. It was marinated in soy sauce, calamansi, garlic, and magic. When the vendor chopped it on the table, the skin made a crisp sound that was so beautiful I almost applauded. I'm not exaggerating when I say I could date that chicken if it were legal. While I was eating, a man approached me and said, "You should try Aklan's linapay." I blinked, wondering what that was. Turns out, linapay is crab meat mixed with coconut, wrapped in taro leaves and cooked in coconut cream. When I tasted it, I felt like I unlocked a new level of deliciousness. The combination of creamy coconut and salty crab felt like a marriage so perfect it should be officiated by a priest. Then I traveled to the town of La Trinidad in Benguet, which is often overshadowed by Baguio next door. But La Trinidad has strawberries, real strawberries. Not the sad, sour ones you get in other tropical places. These strawberries are sweet, juicy, and grown in cool mountain air. When I saw the strawberry fields for the first time, my blonde brain screamed, "Pick me! Pick me!" And pick I did. I filled a whole basket, then ate half of it before I even reached the exit. The locals laughed because apparently I was slow at picking. "Ma'am, that's the leaf," one said, gently pointing out that I had picked a stem instead of a strawberry. Look, I tried. But the real surprise in La Trinidad wasn't the strawberries. It was strawberry taho. I'm convinced taho is the Filipino version of emotional support food. Soft tofu, sweet syrup, tapioca pearls, and in La Trinidad, fresh strawberry syrup. I drank the whole cup like a child who just discovered sugar. My journey continued to Lucban, Quezon. This town is famous for something called pancit habhab, which you are supposed to eat straight off a banana leaf, no fork, no spoon, just face to noodles. As a polite American woman taught to use utensils like a civilized adult, this terrified me. But when the vendor handed me the banana leaf, I took a deep breath, tilted my head, and started habhabbing. The locals watching me were clapping, laughing, cheering like I was performing in the Olympics of noodle eating. And you know what? It was delicious. The noodles had a smoky flavor, and the vinegar added the kind of zing that makes your eyebrows lift involuntarily. From Lucban, I went to the town of Jordan in Guimaras. Everyone knows Guimaras for having the sweetest mangoes in the Philippines, but Jordan is on another level. They have mangoes so sweet they could replace your boyfriend. They don't taste like fruit, they taste like candy grown on trees. A farmer sliced one open for me, and I swear I saw the sun come out just to highlight the juiciness. When I took a bite, the entire world paused. Birds sang, angels harmonized. My jaw dropped. My soul melted. It was that good. My final stop was the peaceful town of Carcar in Cebu, and Carcar has one thing: lechon. If Batangas lomi was a warm hug, Carcar lechon is a passionate kiss. Crispy skin that sounds like thunder when you bite it, juicy meat, and the kind of flavor that makes you want to slap the table. People here don't dip lechon in sauce. They don't need to. The meat itself is a full experience. As I ate, one local told me, "Our lechon is best without sarsa." And he was absolutely right. The skin was so crispy I could hear it crackle in my soul. By the end of my trip, I realized something important. Filipino food isn't just food, it's culture, history, emotion, hospitality, and sometimes mild chaos. These underrated food towns don't appear in big travel guides, but they hold the kind of culinary treasures that transform you. They taught me that the Philippines isn't just a country, it's a feast. And if you explore with an open heart, an empty stomach, and stretchy pants, you'll discover flavors that stay with you forever. So if you ever come to the Philippines, skip the fancy restaurants first. Go to the towns no tourist talks about. Eat what the locals eat. Try everything, even if you can't pronounce the name. And trust me, one day you'll find yourself sitting by a street stall, holding a bowl, a skewer, or a banana leaf, thinking, "This is the best thing I've ever eaten." Again, and that's the magic of the hidden Philippines.